Don't blink. To claim the bounty, Porch needs Hannibal's ID proof. Even though Mason's conditions were straight out of a thriller, Porch agreed because Mason's offer was just too tempting. He headed to find Hannibal with a wooden box. He claimed it was from his ancestor, and Hannibal perked up like seeing a new toy. Hannibal set down his fruit knife, scrutinized the box, and the fingerprint on the handle caught Porch's attention. But time was ticking down, and Porch had to give up. Then, Hannibal pulled out an ancient arrow with Porch's ancestor Francesca's name carved on it. Hannibal teased Porch's ancestor was executed for greed, like a big warning sign. But Porch was too busy gathering fingerprints to heed Hannibal's warning, and ended up knocked out. When he woke up, he was tied up like a turkey. This was also Hannibal's special way of preparing for his farewell to him. Subsequently, Hannibal tied Porch up with a rope, offering him his ultimate meal deal. Then he sliced open his belly and tossed him out the window as if pushing a shopping cart. Porch really fell into the pit because of his greed. This scene was spotted by the arriving Jack, and now Porch's days got even tougher facing his nemesis. Hannibal knew he had nowhere to run and started verbally sparring with Jack, but Jack was no longer the reckless type. Jack unleashed his pent-up rage without holding back. After a tussle, Hannibal inched toward the window, looking like a frantic little cat. Jack shoved Hannibal without hesitation, not realizing Porch's body became Hannibal's escape rope. Hannibal managed to glide down safely, and Jack panicked because if Hannibal escaped, the stakes would be high. After getting a beatdown from Jack, Hannibal barely escaped, but the police found out he killed Porch. Hannibal decided to start fresh elsewhere, but Livia refused to join him, knowing he'd eventually have her for dinner. But he was ready to be eaten by Hannibal, as Livia never had any plans to escape. Hannibal's bigger worry was Livia, but the tortured Will. Meanwhile, Will and Jack were plotting to take out Hannibal. Due to their previous illegal stunts, their special status was revoked, making capturing Hannibal even trickier. Jack always suspected Will would side with Hannibal, and Will had his own doubts to voice. Turns out Jack wanted Will to kill Hannibal to avoid becoming the next Sun Devil. They followed the clues to Hannibal's place, where only Livia remained during the relentless questioning. Livia claimed to be a victim too, insisting Hannibal had brainwashed her. But Livia's little charade was seen through, and without evidence, they were stuck. Everyone knew it. The agents investigating Hannibal had already been lured by Mason's bounty, and sure enough, a wave of officers barged in. Jack warned the lead man not to get blinded by money, but he brushed it off and tossed Jack out. Jack saw the man's ignorance smirk and knew he had to catch Hannibal fast, or more would suffer innocently. But Hannibal wasn't running from Florence. He was sitting in front of Botticelli's painting, pondering life. At this point, the west wind in the painting turned into Will, replaced by Livia. Clearly, Hannibal's life planning was just getting started, while Will was following his thoughts to find Hannibal's artwork. They exchanged smiles like old flames when they met without many words, and Hannibal believed they were meant to be. They would unexpectedly blend into each other with seamless harmony, making them absolutely inseparable. Following a period of extended silence, Hannibal cordially invited Will to join him for dinner at his home. This was also an opportunity. Whether Will became an enemy or a friend really depended on his next move. Meanwhile, Gio lurked on a nearby rooftop, as protecting Hannibal was his birthright. Seeing Will's choice, Gio struck without mercy. When Will woke up again, he found himself at the dining table, and Hannibal had mixed feelings. Facing Will's evaluation, Hannibal replied, "There's spice in the soup. Take another sip of water to stir it up." Will noticed an empty seat opposite him and wondered if Hannibal had invited someone else. But little did he know, another guest was on the way. Just as Jack entered the elevator, Chio happened to appear. Chio sensed danger upon seeing Jack and quickly decided to skip the floor and leave. Jack didn't ask much and entered the room with his gun, but Hannibal had already vanished. Oh well, too bad. When Jack woke again, he found himself positioned across from Will due to Hannibal's arrangement. Hannibal was about to let Will witness a grand slaughter feast. As the curtain rose, armed agents burst in, ruining his mood. Hannibal was knocked out, but the agents weren't really after justice. They were lured by the high bounty. The leading agent bound Will up because it meant more reward for him, and poor Jack was to become the last sacrificial lamb. 3/4 acute, a circumflex, Arabic letter 6, BDA letter 3CA, Cyrillic letter 4, BBC Cedilla F, O Grov Cyrillic letter 4, 7D, RE circumflex, O stroke, H pounded sign letter 1F9, U set a pounded sign, symbol 3D Armenian R, I tilde letter 1F50, I'm loud, A circumflex RX. It turned out to be Chia lending a hand just in time, giving Jack a shot at survival. Learning where Hannibal was tied up, Chia didn't hesitate and set off immediately. But Uncle Bar was already served up to Mason, who didn't kill him outright but planned to turn him into a gourmet dish. Mason even planned to swap Will's face onto himself, serving up Hannibal an extra sad meal.